Are you a service-based business owner looking to increase profits to fund your lifestyle? Well, this podcast is for you. We bring you inspirational guests sharing actionable tips to solve many of the struggles you face each and every day. And now, over to your host, Paul Higgins.
Hi, Paul here. Before we get into the show, would you like to make a great first impression on LinkedIn? If so, I have something just for you. When people search for your name on Google, your LinkedIn profile will normally come up first. Before meeting someone for the first time, how often do they view your LinkedIn profile? For many coaches and consultants I begin to work with, their profiles don't do them any justice. I've created a simple solution where you can whip your profile into shape to have your best foot forward when attracting new clients on LinkedIn. Go to blgdownload.com, so that's blgdownload.com to get your 5 killer tips today. Hello to the Build, Live, Give solo podcast, episode number 314. Today I'm going to share with you my 10-year journey of running my own business. But don't worry, don't stop, don't press the button where it says you've already listened. I'm not going to give you a boring walkthrough of all the 10 years. I will give you a quick summary, but then I'll pick out my 10 lessons learned over my 10 years so that you can benefit and reflect on your own lessons. If you are new and love what you hear, please subscribe. If you're a regular, thanks for your support. It means the world to me. I love listening to podcasts and always have follow-up questions. If you're the same, go to paulhigginsmentoring.com/questions and lodge yours, and I promise to answer it. Please check out past shows on your favorite platform. Just search Build, Live, Give. I left my role as director of Coca-Cola in 2011. Yep. 10 years ago, to be an executive coach. I was motivated to run my own business, but also knew I had to set something up for my deteriorating health condition. Within the first 6 months, I enjoyed it, but I really knew that I'd make a better mentor than a coach. And I also wanted to work with small business owners. I really wasn't keen on continuing to work with high-paid executives in corporate. I became an advisor to small business owners. I loved it and could share a lot of my experience from working at one of the best run companies in the world, in my opinion, Coca-Cola, but also working with thousands of our own small customers. It was like I was advising and learning for my 18 years whilst I was there. I saw 2 gaps in achieving results, which led me to create an outsourcing company in the Philippines. And then in 2013, I started working with Scott Gallaty on selling a platform called Podio, because I knew that if you had the right resources and if you also had the technology to tap into it, it made a pretty good pairing. We had a trial of working together and we joined forces in 2014, but I still kept my advisory company. In 2016, after scaling a development team to support Podio, we realized that Citrix they'd acquired Podio and they had different intentions than what we had. It wasn't the best thing when I went to a global conference overseas and realized we had to get off the boat because it wasn't going to go anywhere. We then became platform agnostic in our tech company. I divested my outsourcing business because I couldn't really travel to the Philippines anymore, and I set up a mastermind to be able to work from anywhere, once again preparing for my kidney failure. I did the sales and strategy for the tech consulting business, and we quickly scaled so much that we sold it in 2019, which was very nice, just before COVID. I continued now to help owners of business or consulting businesses to generate revenue through the sales machine and accelerate sales programs. You can find all about those at paulhigginsmentoring.com. So enough of my history. I hope you're still with me. Let's go on to the key lesson. So lesson number 1 is build it and they will come. And I'm sure you've heard that millions of times. We went and built the team for Podio before we truly researched the opportunity. We had fallen in love with the product and assumed everyone else had as well. It was a classic. We only saw nails because we had a hammer in our hand. Never make that mistake again. Touch wood. Lesson 2, you don't have a business until you have an offer that converts. I learned the hard way to run webinars, paid traffic, and go to all this effort, throw it to an offer, and I hadn't proven the offer in the first place and that it converted and it was a dismal failure. Not the expert's fault, nobody's fault except mine. Lesson 3, pick your partners. Scott and I spent 12 months before we decided to get together formally in the business, which I told you. We had a well-drafted shareholder agreement that covered what all the worst case scenarios would be if things didn't go to plan. And I really wanted to do that in particular because of my health, and I didn't want to leave him in the lurch. We also had complementary skills and we were very much value aligned. So if you're going to go into partnerships, please consider those points. Lesson 4, work with people who've gone before you. I've had a mentor for nearly every year of my business. I always believe in that self-development, which I'll talk about a little later. And I believe the ones that created the best value was ones that weren't too far ahead of me. They'd gone through my situation, but they still understood it, versus ones that were that far ahead of me. They were too advanced and forgotten what it was like to be in my shoes. Lesson number 5, you don't have a business unless you have a team. So one of my favorite authors, Michael Hyatt, said that, and it really stuck with me, and I agree with it. I learned firsthand what it was like whilst I was on dialysis and post my transplant, that my team meant everything to me. I could not have run the business without them. I cannot thank them enough. And remember, always be recruiting and hire the great people ahead of the revenue. They'll make it happen. So before I continue, I'd like to talk to you about leadjet.io. Ever looked at your LinkedIn profile and had to manually put the information in to your sales CRM? It's an absolute pain, right? Ever sent someone a message on LinkedIn and had to copy and paste it into a sales CRM? No more with leadjet.io. It does both of these activities automatically for you on your major sales CRM. So whether it's Copper, Pipedrive, Salesforce, HubSpot, it's got you covered. Why not check it out for yourself? Go to buildlivegive.com/leadjet. All the links will be in the show notes. Lesson number 6. Okay, bear with me. We've got 4. I'll keep it nice and punchy. Riches are in the niches or niches. I always get that wrong, but there's different talk around the world. You can track my success based on when I was trying to be all things to all people versus being very specific. Ask a family member to look at your website or LinkedIn profile or both and get them to simply say what you do and who you do it for. If you can't answer that, you need to really start to niche down. And I suppose the classic saying is a confused buyer never buys. And if no one else gets it, either will the people who are trying to buy from you. Lesson 7, leverage technology. I've always used technology to fast track my results, and Coca-Cola definitely brought the best out in me with that. I now have clients and team members all over the world thanks to leveraging technology. A small silver lining in COVID is that people now realize they can help people no matter where they are. Lesson 8, give before you get. Okay, I know Gary Vee's very famous for that, jab, jab, right hook. But think about this, every time I give all of my information out, right, it really I see a spike in my sales, right? So I truly believe that, we're in a world where content is so powerful. People will make decisions about you before they ever meet you, and it's the content you put out. And if you want some help on LinkedIn with content, please get in touch with me. Lesson 9, second last, personal development. I've dedicated 20% of my time to my own personal development since I was 16. It is easy to step out of corporate like I did and not continue to develop yourself. Podcasts have been my true source of development of late. Whatever your source is, please continue to develop yourself, because we are often paid for our thinking and not our doing as consultants. Last but not least, and I definitely left this one to last to really emphasize it, 50% of your time should be spent on sales and marketing if you're the owner of the business. When was the last time you did a quick check on that ratio? I use Toggle, great platform, not sponsored, but it really helps me to check that each week. Many clients approach me with poor sales, and when I look at the analysis, they're only spending about 10% of their time on sales and marketing. Now, good activity is better than just any activity, but if you do good activity to 50% of your time, you will get great results. And, I really do believe that you as a business owner need to sell, especially up to the first couple of million. I think only you can sell your business. I still think also that, your business just won't sell itself, right? People aren't going to flock to you anymore. SEO and search is becoming so busy. So that's why I believe that you've got to invest that time. So 3 key actions from today. 1 is apply one of these key lessons to your business today, right? So take action, please, now. 2nd, Do the same exercise on what you've learned and then read it each and every day, because that's what I do to remind myself so I don't repeat the same mistakes. Third is reach out if you would like some help. You can get all the links, as I said before, in the show notes at paulhigginsmentoring.com/podcast, episode 314 on the app you're listening to now. I recommend the Pocket Cast app. If you want to know if you have the sales system to reach your next million in sales, go to paulhigginsmentoring.com/pulse. 9 critical questions in 3 minutes. Please follow me on LinkedIn. It's where I produce my best content like this podcast. And if you know 1, maybe 2, or maybe even 10 people who could benefit from this, please share it with them. They'll love you for it. Please take action to build, live, and give.
Thanks for listening to the Build, Live, Give podcast. If you like what you heard, please share it and leave us a review. It would mean the world to us.